Congratulations on taking the first steps towards fulfilling your employment goals. You've decided on a major that matches your interests, strengths, and abilities. You've worked hard to learn about your new career field, and now it's time to show employers what you're prepared to do in your new industry. It's a competitive job market with lots of skilled and eager candidates seeking employment opportunities to work. But you are ready for hire. Let's create a resume that describes why you are the best candidate for the job. A resume acts as the first impression you make on an employer. It is their first glance into your background, which includes your education, training, and achievements as you work towards your career goals. It creates a display of your skills, strengths, and experiences related to the job. Employers review resumes to answer questions about how you fit into the culture of the organization. The document determines if your qualifications align with the skills needed for the position. These qualifications are usually a great combination of hard and soft skills. Hard skills are the technical skills you gain on the job through training and experience. They are the hands-on indicators that you can perform a specific duty or carry out a responsibility related to the physical work. Your degree, certificate, or diploma is the credential that proves you received specialized training and can apply knowledge in your field. Soft skills are the interpersonal attributes or skills you possess that are above and beyond the technical skills. These soft traits are typically rooted in your personality, culture, and indicate that you can establish positive relationships and work well with others. Some soft skills are extensions of the ability to work well with people and through processes, such as flexibility and managing your time well. A great candidate possesses a wonderful balance of hard and soft skills, which will make them an ideal employee for any company. Now, let's talk about the styling and content guidelines you should follow when writing your resume. I won't go over every single bullet point because the slides are here for you to review, but I will touch upon the key highlights that you need to understand as you write your resume and format it properly. Fonts, margins, page length are all very important aspects of the document. You want to make sure that your fonts are professional in styling, that your margins are the standard for a business document, and that your document is no longer than 1 to 2 pages in length, especially if you're new to the industry and a recent graduate. To make sure that your document has an easy flow to the read and is up to date, we will not use objectives on our resumes, but instead opt to use a resume title. Examples of how you can utilize a resume title or even a professional summary will be included in the materials packet that goes along with this video. Organize your resume in sections based upon the relevancy and begin your section content with action verbs. These are all very important guidelines that you should follow in order to make sure that your resume makes sense to the employer. Remember, it's about the interpretation of the end user. The reader of this document needs to be able to figure out what you're able to do and how you can apply your knowledge on the job. Now that we understand the styling and content guidelines, let's quickly talk about the common resume components. On any standard basic resume, you will see these 4 components: the resume header, education and training section, clinical rotations or field experiences, which may also be indicated as internships, your activities and interests, or community service and involvement. I won't go over everything in detail in this video. However, sample resumes are included in the materials packet. So please make sure you review those samples to understand how these components are developed. For the resume header, you're going to include your contact information, which should always show your first and last name, your mailing address, a phone number, and an email address. Make sure this information is accurate and professional. If you have any type of web-based links to e-portfolios or a LinkedIn profile, you can also include this information in your resume header. These elements are acceptable. Under the Education and Training section, you will display the college, city, and state where you attended. You will also include the month or term and year that you graduated, along with the certificate, diploma, or degree that you earned and its concentration. If you have earned more than one degree, certificate, or diploma while in college, or you have received education from a different institution that is relevant to your new field, you may include this information under the Education and Training section at the top of your resume. If the information is not related to what you're about to do, you'll want to consider including an additional education section, which is typically shown towards the bottom of the resume. Next, let's talk about the clinical rotations and field experiences section. This section can also be noted as your internship section. If you have any hands-on training that you can describe to the employer, this is the place to do it. You'll want to make sure that you include bulleted sections or points that begin with action verbs to describe what you did or what your primary responsibility was as an intern or student assistant. This information will help employers to understand how you applied your knowledge in a hands-on environment. You also have the activities and interests or community service and involvement. You can include any outside activities that are somewhat related to what you're going to do in your industry, or anything that shows leadership, managerial skills, or any of the soft skills that were mentioned earlier in the video. You want to be sure to stay away from any information that is religious or political in nature, and just basically use information that showcases how you were involved in community-related activities, especially if you led or coordinated a lot of those projects. Now let's take a look at a couple of samples of the resumes discussed in this video. What you're about to see is an example of what a resume looks like with a resume title and one with a professional summary. Notice that the structure is basically the same, but the sections vary according to which one you choose. Again, resume titles are typically for your entry-level candidates, and professional summaries are for your more seasoned, experienced candidates. You'll also notice in the right-hand column, there's comments that I've placed there so that you will understand what needs to be written in each section. It's probably difficult for you to see this information in this video, but these samples are included in the materials packet that you will receive, and typically the professor will upload this information to D2L for your review. Now that you understand how to develop a resume, you can create an account or log into the College Central Network at www.collegecentral.com/HGTC. You may schedule a virtual career services appointment, search the job network, and more. You may also email us at careerresourcecenter@hgtc.edu or call 843-349-7899 and someone will be happy to assist you. Thank you for watching Basic Resume Writing, presented by HGTC's Office of Career Services.